Welcome
to A Girl, a Guy, and a Buffy podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Charles Swint.
I'm your other host, Kate Balzer.
We're two friends who've been watching Buffy since the beginning. We are not a rewatch podcast. We explore the big bad themes of the show, and this podcast is full of spoilery goodness. So if you have not watched the entire series and don't want to be spoiled, press pause now. Hey, Kate.
Hey, Charles.
We're back with another Mailbag episode. People are really listening.
It's been a hot week.
No, people are listening. This is so exciting. Thanks, everyone, for actually listening and taking the time to write us comments and send us DMs and all of that stuff. It's very exciting. So we do have another one. This one is from, I've got to pull it up here.
We got a great Facebook comment on one of our posts, again, related to our two redemption episodes, two-parter redemption episodes. So this is from John, and we just really loved his comment. And again, it got our brains going.
And this is, just to give it some context, this is actually talking about Anya's redemption arc and our conversations around her. Yeah, so this one says, you both have excellent points, and I've never really thought about this much. So let me play vengeance devil's advocate for a second. She did have some moments. At the end of Selfless, she asked Hofren to kill her to reverse the spell that killed the frat bros. She also obviously gave her life to fight the first evil and save Andrew. Perhaps a deeper question is if on some level she still believed she was right. Spike realized he had done wrong, but Anya was fighting for women that had been wronged. She was helping the helpless. Yeah, she started the Russian Revolution, obviously bad, but from Anya's viewpoint, some of what she did might be looked at as good. Not saying she's not callous or doesn't have a huge body count, just saying that she did have a purpose beyond what Spike did, and that may have influenced her viewpoint if she thought she was doing good.
Yeah, I think John makes some really great points in playing vengeance devil's advocate here. I think Anya is a great example of a villain who does not see herself as a villain. She comes at her role as a vengeance demon with a sense of justice and a sense of a righteous cause. So I definitely think from her perspective, she doesn't necessarily consider any of the harm she's causing. They don't matter much to her partly because of her righteous cause. I think partly because also she thinks like a demon, and that doesn't matter to her type of demon.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because in the Buffy universe, vengeance demons are actually, it feels like this to me, and if there's others that I'm not thinking of, forgive me, but vengeance demons are the only ones that seem to treat being a demon as their job. It's their job to do these things. And so I think perhaps that also changes their perspective about it. We're just doing a job. That's it. I don't feel one way about it or the other. I'm just doing my job. And so maybe that's why Anya definitely enjoys the vengeance, or she did before she became human. I think at some point you're like, yeah, I like this job and you enjoy what you're doing. But I think maybe that also plays into the factor of her not feeling a lot of guilt or a lot of remorse later on when she does have a soul. And she looks back on things very fondly about, oh, I remember this time that I did this to this person. And there's a sense of nostalgia and a sense of glorifying what she did. But again, but to her, she was like, yeah, but it was my job. It was just what I did at my last job. It was super fun. I loved it. And I don't think she has the same emotional connection to things like that. So I think that changes her viewpoint.
Yeah, I agree with you somewhat. I think that's a really good point about vengeance demons being about a job, because in one of the flashbacks in Selfless actually, I think it was the scene during the Russian Revolution, Hallie is like, girl, take a break. Go get a life. You can't always be doing vengeance. So I think it really, like so much in Anya's life, her life becomes about that one thing, which I think we said in that episode. She doesn't have the ability to diversify and do other things in her life. Although I think that's what she's starting to learn in season 7, and a little bit when she became human the first time, I think, as well. But I think for Anya, it was everything, which is why she romanticizes, or romanticizes isn't the right word, why she, like you said, looks back very fondly on it and there's no sense of guilt for her because it was who and what she was at the time, and now she no longer is. But yeah, she doesn't come at it from a place of guilt, which I think we said as well. Not every character who does evil things on the series needs a redemption arc. And right. I don't think Anya had a redemption arc. That wasn't the purpose of her story. Whether that was intentional or not, it's just not where her story goes. Does that mean she doesn't do anything redemptive? No, she had some moments, I think, particularly staying to fight at the end in season 7 and sacrificing her life but unlike Spike and Angel or even Faith or even Willow, her drive is never, the purpose is never to do it for redemption's sake. She's just doing it because she's claiming a stake, I think, in the world now.
Right.
Down the road, maybe she had more time to grow. If she hadn't been killed and chosen, would she have started to feel some guilt for what she did? Because we know she does a bit. That's why she wants to take back, as John pointed out in his comment, why she wants to take back the killing of the frat brothers. Even though she did it and it was her big moment in her comeback as a vengeance demon, it doesn't really sit right with her because she had been, I think, she had been human for too long again. It had made an impact on her. She couldn't just go back to coldly being a soulless vengeance demon.
Yeah, her arc is more about Anya finding her humanity and finding out who she is as a person. And so in some ways, like, her not getting married to Xander was probably the best thing that could have happened to her, because it allows her to figure out who she is without the identifier of this man. I'm Xander's girlfriend. I'm Xander's wife. Like, I think sometimes, and again, I'm not a woman, so I don't want to speak for women, but I do think that sometimes I've heard women say that they lose their identity sometimes when they get married and have kids, and like they feel like they're just a mom, or just, they get viewed that way, even though that they are so much more than that. And I think that's what happens to Anya. Like, she's so much more than just Xander's girlfriend. But we don't really get to see a lot of those levels all the time. She is a shopkeeper. She's really good with money. She's like amazing with money. I want to give Anya like $100 so she can make money for me, so I can invest it in some stocks or something. Like, she's really smart with finances and business and all that stuff. And so, like, I feel like, again, not to, no pun intended, but pun intended. Like, her life is cut so short that we just don't really get to see. Sorry, it was coming. I couldn't help it. It was right there.
The pun was right there.
It was right there. I had to walk into it. We just don't get to see that growth that she has. So,
yeah, and I think for us as well, that Anya's redemption or lack of redemption story isn't so much, our issues aren't so much with that. It's more with the Scooby Gang. So it's with Buffy, Willow, Xander, Giles, and the way they brush off Anya's past, but hold up Spike and Angelus to much higher standards. And again, we said that in our 2-parter episodes, but worth reiterating it because it is unfair. If they're going to hold Spike and Angelus accountable, which I don't have a problem with, then they should hold Anya accountable. But it's like, as soon as she's human, they're like, oh, whatever, that's her past. I don't know if it's because they don't want to deal with it. I think some of it, excuse me, I'm now losing my voice. I think some of it is that Anyanka never hurt them personally, whereas Spike and Angelus did. And so they didn't experience the Wishverse. They got a little taste of it when Vamp Willow was pulled in, but none of them were hurt the way Spike kidnapping Willow and Xander, obviously Spike's attempted sexual assault of Buffy, all the things that Angelus did, killing Miss Calendar, confessing to Buffy's mom that he slept with her. All of those make it so much more personal, and it's not with Anyanka. They know Anya. They don't know Anyanka. So I think it's easier for them to make that separation. It's not necessarily right or fair, but I get it. That's a human thing to do.
Yeah. And it is interesting. Sorry, y'all. We are struggling today. It's rough, but it is interesting because it feels I you make such a good point about that, and so I'm trying to hold on to that. But it does feel almost very hypocritical, especially from Xander's point of view, who he's very much, oh, you're sleeping with Angel, even before he turned into Angelus. There was this
Hmm.
jealousy, there was this, and it was always throwing up Angel's past in his face. But none of the Scoobies did that to Xander when he started dating Anya. They kind of was like, are you sure you want to date her? Because she used to be a demon. That conversation was had,
Hmm.
but it was out of concern. It was okay. And then when he was like, no, I really like her, then it was never brought up again. Where with Buffy, they were always bringing it up. It was always a point of contention and a point of friction for them that she was dating Angel for a while.
Yeah, I think that's more of a Xander thing, and we all know why Xander was
Yeah.
that way. And Xander didn't have the right to be that way. So like he should be called out for it, but I also get why he was behaving that way. Whereas really Willow does do that to Xander, and that's why we get Triangle.
Yeah, that's true too.
But Willow's so a bit passive aggressive and non-confrontational, particularly when it comes to like certain emotional stuff, that she kind of holds it in. I think she's also somewhat being a good friend in holding back her true feelings about Anya and her fears about Anya becoming a vengeance demon again, and then it comes to fruition. So there is somewhat there, but not as much as the way Xander is towards Buffy with dating Angel. And then he's even a bit that way at the beginning with Riley until Riley is accepted into the gang. He's much more, are you sure about this guy in season 4 than I always remember when I go back and watch season 4 episodes. But that being said, just because I understand why they're behaving the way they are, and it's a very human thing, it doesn't mean I absolutely think I wish someone in the show had called them out for their hypocrisy of how they treated or the standards they held Spike and Angelus to versus Anya
Yeah.
or Anyanka. I definitely think it would have been great to have someone at least call one of them out about it.
Yeah. Good points. Good points all.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Again, we love hearing from our listeners, whether that's commenting on our social media posts or sending us an email. So we would love to do more of these episodes, responding to your deep thoughts and hot takes on Buffy. So be sure to email us at abuffypodcast@gmail.com or send us a DM on Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok at a Buffy Podcast. Also, one great way to support the podcast is to send this episode to a fellow Buffy fan and to rate and review us on your favorite podcasting platform. By doing this, you'll help the podcast to reach more people. Bye.
Bye.